Hát vissza is tértem, I'm back again, but today is going to be on English, so sorry for the Hungarian viewers. I don't know how much should I spoil more, or if you can jump right in. Hi, Gerald. Maybe if I send an invitation. No, you have to apply. Until he's coming and join me, what I'm really curious about, if I don't know, how are you guys? I'm sure so many of you had to start over again and again, and why is it so good to express what we truly feel? And I would like to explore this question a little bit more. Yeah, maybe here. Yay!
Hey,
Hi! How are
I'm trying to
you?
see, will this work? Yes, okay.
Why?
I
Wait,
just
you
have to
are
look here.
upside down.
Oh, okay. I was trying to see how to set my phone because it's charging right now.
No, it's
But let's
fine.
see if it'll work like this. Better?
Hey, so great to see you.
You too. God, it's been so long.
Oh my God, it's been ages.
Yeah.
How are you?
How you been?
Excited?
Yeah, yeah. In a much better place now. Um, I was doing a lot more exploring before. It was, I believe, I went my second year in the industry or
Mm-hmm.
something, so I was still pretty new. Even the whole life performance thing was really
Yeah.
new. Outside of the country was a new thing. That
I
was my first time
mean,
outside of the US.
it was a
So
big trip.
yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, I wasn't even supposed to perform.
I know we were talking about this, that it was such a like consequences after another, and it was so random that all of us were there of a sudden. And I didn't tell anything about you in advance, so I didn't want it to spoil it away. So my first question is, who doesn't know Tony Fontana? How would you introduce yourself to those?
Okay, so my name is Tony Fontana. I was a mainstream porn performer. Now just stick more with OnlyFans, more of an independent creator,
Yeah.
and just all around entrepreneur. I've got my toes dipped in so many things now. Just all time, all around artist
Yeah.
um, and lover.
So I just tell to my followers that you are in a rebranding process and this will be your first appearance in this new project. So, what would you tell us about that?
Yeah, like I said, my first few years in the industry was just putting myself out there and seeing how all the inner workings work. There's so many avenues within the adult industry um, that it was really just like an experimentation process. And I learned a lot. So now that I'm sort of rebranding and getting back into it more, um, I've got another main job that I'm doing to bring in
Right.
more consistent income. Yeah, because basically recognized you can either be on more of like the production side of things or like the performer side of things. And while I do love the performance, I feel like my strengths are more in the production side.
Mm-hmm.
So with producing anything comes, money.
Yeah, I know.
So
But you're
yeah.
creative. You can figure it out.
No, yeah, that's why I'm doing this main job now. I'm making so much more money than I was before. And that was kind of part of the problem too, was I had all these creative endeavors that I wanted to do, but the money were just wasn't really like coming in for it to make
Mm-hmm.
sense. And it was kind of frustrating because I felt like I just had to wait, right? Like wait,
That's money
like
block thing. We should get back to it later on because it's a
oh,
huge
sure,
topic,
sure,
but we should talk about it more.
sure. But yeah, I mean, so now that I'm in a better position to do that, I want to be more. I want to like there's producing like video, but then
Mhm.
there's producing like work opportunity
Yeah,
in all these different ways for other people. So I feel like that's kind of what I want to go
nice.
into and create these grander projects instead of just trying to do it myself. So
Nice, nice.
yeah,
That really sounds huge.
yeah,
And I know from myself and my experience, the hardest part is to take the first step. And when I see under construction and you know, like you removed everything from your Insta, I did the same. How did it feel, or what was this final moment when you felt like, okay, redirection and go my own way?
yeah. I felt like I was trying. I was trying to be perceived a certain way, and whatever I was posting was getting me like I wanted to be perceived this way, and I was getting perceived this way. So
I think
it
I know
needed to
what you
take
mean.
time. Yeah, it needed to take time for me to put myself out there and see how people reacted. And so once I saw how they reacted, and I started saying, "Oh, okay, well, if I want them to see me more like this, then I need to do more like this." But when half of your profile, or more than half of your profile, is already geared towards that other stuff, it's hard to just switch
I
over instead
know.
of like, because then they're always like, "Oh, the old stuff keeps creeping back in," and it's
You
like,
know,
"No,
it
I'm this."
with me it kept happened kind of like the same because before I started this whole Intimezology thing, I just removed everything. Okay, I'm lying. I was archived things, so I didn't delete the
Okay.
thing, and now I feel like I don't want to delete it. You know, now I put it up there again so people can see like where is the line where Dolly stopped and Dora came.
Okay.
And I don't mind, like maybe you will feel the same, or I don't know if you really deleted it or just archived it.
I deleted it.
You
So
are bolder
I
than me.
I feel like I do that in my regular life. Um, I keep things around me that are serving me. I'm really good at, people hold on to something and be like, I might use it later, or I'm like, no, if I can look back in a month or two and I haven't used it, you know what I mean? Um, and so I felt like the same was kind of with my page. I still kept the name. I still really like the name whenever
Yeah,
I'm,
it says a lot. I love
yeah,
this name. I think you
thank
remember
you.
how much I was into it. Like, oh my God, it's so
Yeah.
cool.
I get that a lot. I get a lot of compliments like when I was shooting mainstream and they were like, "Oh man, I
Yeah.
should have picked that name." But it's the whole persona, the look,
Yeah.
I can like advertise it well and stuff. So I kept the name. I think it's sort of like if like graduating to the next chapter of life. Like I don't
Mm.
need to keep almost like from child to teenage to like older teen to adult. I don't
Yeah.
feel like I really need to keep that previous stuff. Like this is what I want now to be seen as, and I'll have those memories, and the people that were in my past, have those memories
Mm.
too. But I don't need to have like a scrapbook of it, I don't think, and just really hit people with the crazy stuff now.
Okay, so tell me about what you think people see you as, and what you would like to change on that. So, what you wish to people see you or think of you.
Sure. So and I actually have data to back this up because I was it's kind of a weird topic because okay, I'll just put it out there. People were thinking that I was a lot more gay or like homosexual than I came off to be.
Really?
Yes, yes,
No
yes.
way. I
And
don't need this.
well, you obviously, because yeah, proof, right? But really what it was, and that's why it's a tricky topic because it's not saying that like I'm against it. It's just not my persona.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
so
wait,
it's
wait, wait.
weird
I
being
remember your
perceived
old
like that.
pictures, like those, like Hugo Boss commercials with the boxer on and all the cubes in your abs and stuff. So your
Yeah.
main viewers were not ladies, they were more men.
No, so that's different. Okay, so I understood that I was going to be pulling a lot of gay fans, you know,
Yeah.
whether I'm in underwear or
So that wasn't the
clothed
thing.
or whatever. No, no, it was this is why I was saying I had the data to back it up. So I got sponsored by this underwear company, and they were like, just send us a few photos, and
Yeah.
you can keep the underwear. So the photos came out really well. So I was talking to my agent, and I was like, let's just use these as new agency photos, right?
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, these look great. Like, let's do it. So I sent them to her. A month goes by, and she's like, we got to change the photos. I was like, what's wrong with them? And she's like, you're only getting offers for gay for pay scenes. And I'm just like, I see what I mean. So I'm like, ah, man.
It
So,
was too good to be true, or
well, it was just the wrong branding. See,
yeah,
that's all it was. All I had to do was just switch the clothes a little. Like the photos were great, but it's just, you
not
really,
for your.
yeah, it's all about, it's like your resume, right?
Oh my
Your
God.
Insta and all that stuff. So I'm over here like, all right, well, and there was quite a few you saw that I had
Yes.
of that. It wasn't just those underwear ones, but that was really the thing where it's kind of like, all right, you either got to do something about it or you're going to continue down this route. So yeah.
Oh God.
So
Okay, maybe I will. I'm gonna jump from one topic to another, but who's gonna watch it back? It will make sense. So how we
sure, sure.
started, and I don't know how much we can talk about your ex,
I don't have any shade towards her. She doesn't have any shade towards me. It's
so I can
we're
speak openly what happened in there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're in the industry, right?
Believe
So
I love you if you ever gonna see this. And I was hoping that it would turn out to be to a threesome, so it was really disappointment from my side.
yeah, yeah, it was a lot.
Okay. Okay,
Um,
so for others who doesn't know the story, we met in Slovenia like 3 years ago.
hmm
It was
Slava
a
erotica.
erotic. It was an erotic festival, and I wasn't even supposed to be there. I don't even remember specifically how did you guys came, because you came from the USA. It was like so random to go Slovenia, and I'm
I
like,
know.
what? So it was so random, but we find the common voice, or I don't know, we hang out pretty good. And you were an open couple, right? Or that's what
Yes.
you were saying. How much was it true, or from which side it was more true? Because it didn't turn out so well, I guess, since you are not together anymore.
Yeah, I think that was for both of us kind of so she had been in the industry for 10 plus years and I
Yeah,
was just getting in, right? So because of my lifestyle and like to have sex, right? Safe sex. Um,
I see.
I figured having a relationship like with someone in the industry would they'd be understand it, they would, be
Yeah.
used to it, right? Like so it was cool in the beginning, but I think it was a big how am I trying to say it? We were both learning a lot about ourselves in that type of relationship. Because I'm not sure if she had that type. I don't think she's ever dated a performer and whatnot. So we tried it. She had shot in Hungary years previously, so she made some connections. And I guess as she was coming out, she reached that, and they said that for Slavarotica, if she got invited, I guess, as a performer. And she was like, "Why don't you come out and maybe you can get some scenes in Hungary and just like as a plus one." So I was like, "Yeah, great." So
You didn't expect that thing to
no, I mean
blown
I had
away on
done
the stage.
yeah, literally. I had done a couple private parties, like performances, right, for these like
Yeah.
upscale parties. I was kind of used to that, but not on this big of a stage.
Oh yeah,
And
it was huge. I remember.
yeah, I still have pictures from when I show people, and they're like, "Whoa."
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. But so yeah, we went out there for the first day, and she performed, as did everybody else. I can't remember the first day actually. She Another performer went to her and said that she was interested in me. And then they both came back to the dressing room and Liv was like, I want you to fuck her. Excuse me, I can't use that word.
Okay, so maybe she wasn't into me, you know.
Well, no, 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 but she just watched. She wasn't like,
Really?
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
God.
yeah. So I was like, okay, she's
So she's
actually
a fairy
about it.
too.
Like, this is pretty, yeah, it's
Yeah.
hot, right? And no, I think she was really just exhausted. Like, she could barely keep her eyes open and whatnot.
Yeah,
So,
she really give it all in. I saw how many details
hmm
of her clothes and everything. She was so focused on so many details. It was unbelievable, actually.
yeah, I loved her outfits and everything. Her performance was awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so fast forward, the performance is done, and we go back to the hotel and talking to the owner, and I asked him, how do I perform for next year's? And he's like, you want to perform tomorrow? I
Yeah,
was like, so that's how I got into the performance. I
I
was like
see.
just a plus one. So I said, fuck yeah, hell yeah. And yeah, but it was that night, right? That we the first night that we came back, and we're all hanging
Maybe.
out, drinking, and
You mean the toilet session?
and yeah, Liv
Um,
goes, she's tired, and she understands it, that like that was possibly going to go down. It wasn't like going
it was
behind her
in the
back and
air. You
stuff. And yeah, and I feel like we talked about it, and there's just so much had gone, and she was like, I'm just gonna get some rest because we
dip,
still
dip,
had the
yeah.
performance for the next day. And then we decided to excuse ourselves
Yeah,
from the
it was
group.
fun. No, but was it caused any issues, or how long were have you been together, or why
No,
did it ended?
that was I believe the first year we were together, and we were together for like 2.5 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
No, that wasn't where the problems arise. So I think that's what it was, because that was earlier in our relationship. And then like
Yeah,
as more time went by, another AVN went by. I got nominated my second year. Um, she wasn't nominated, but she ended up having a gig,
yeah.
and AVN costs a lot of money and stuff. So if you're not really nominated, then
Well,
if you have an opportunity to make money versus to spend all that money in Vegas, it's kind of like, just go.
yeah.
But I got nominated, so I was going to go, right?
Wow. Congrats on that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, essentially what happened was I was really open with communication about stuff I was going to do beforehand, and, just to see if it was cool with her.
Yeah, of
So
course.
there was just a couple instances where, um, I would let her know, hey, is it cool if I do this? The time would come and I would do it. And then she would sort of express her feelings to me like after the fact, right?
Um,
And I was kind of like, first couple times is fine, but like you got to let me know before I do it,
yeah.
because
Of course. No, but it's so nice
yeah.
from your side because people are doesn't know like how can I talk about my feelings or how can I tell like easy, straightforward, like face to face and see what's coming and um
I think
yeah,
it's a
like
fear. I think it's a fear of the fear of losing the person supersedes the fear of not having like the peace of mind that you've got it off your chest, kind of
but
thing.
why is a fear? Because you started to be honest after 2 years, not straight away. If you are straight away honest, it came out so many things very early, so there's so much less
And so,
harder.
and I think that's part of it, is like, instead of realizing, because you were trying it, you've never done it before, you maybe didn't like that, so maybe
Yeah.
this person isn't for you. And
Yeah.
that's a especially, there's also there's so many factors, right? Being a female in the industry, you're shunned from a lot of normal circles, so your
Yeah.
circles are pretty small, so it does suck to lose someone like that, because now you're like, fuck, now there's even less people that I can like hang out with or whatnot. So I get that, but at the end of the day, that should never supersede like how you really feel, right? Because then you're
Okay,
just
Intimezology kind of reflects my mindset, how my brain works, and I when you say this, I always go, okay, let's go back and go to the core, like where this came from. Like if you are not feeling good alone, then you're gonna looking for others to confirm your comforts or give you the things which you can give to yourself. And this is my very
hmm
purpose. Like doesn't matter what you want, if until you are not harming someone, like basically in porn we are giving love and making love, and still people bully the women part. Okay, you are gentlemen, and I am sure people dropping their heads around you like, oh yeah, man, you fucked the most beautiful girl in the world. But what we can say, like
Yeah, I
how
mean,
you say the situation, this comparing like male and female performers in the industry.
yeah, it's it's interesting because if you're really observant, you can see it in other industries. It's not just like
Here.
singled out for our kind of thing.
That's so
So
true.
I used to be in medical. I used to be a phlebotomist, like drawing blood, and I was
Wow.
trying to be a physician assistant and stuff. And um, the when you get to like emergency rooms and you have the nurse doctor dynamic, there's a larger majority of the doctors that are male and
Yeah.
the nurses are female, and there's this
Yeah.
weird like ego dynamic, and we're
They
helping
are
people's lives,
crazy,
like
even the ambitions of women, to climb higher.
well, and it's more of it should be that way because if women are more skilled in one area and men are more skilled in the other area, we want the best skilled people in each
Yeah.
area. And maybe the pay maybe should be changed or whatever, but I don't think that we need to have just because there's a higher count of one sex in one industry that we need more of the other one. Like there's a reason
Yeah,
for
but
that. It's
that's the
because
thing. What I feel is like, why is more men in CEO position or leader position? Because they are just breaking the women's, like, with the bones, like you are not worthy enough or you are not good enough, and they stop believing themselves.
I think it's more, there could be a layer of that, but I think what we're seeing is that what it takes to be in those positions. And now a lot of CEO positions, when the company is public, they lose the integrity and the quality. And so a lot of them being male, they seem to be like kind of like assholes or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's just the nature of business. If a CEO woman was in there, she's going to be cutting costs too because it's in the favor of the shareholders, not the customer and the people, right? But that's just the nature of business.
Yeah.
So I think more of what it is, it's just what skills does it take to be successful at that job. And women as a sex and men as a sex tend to, on the majority, obviously there's outliers, but tend to have be better at certain skills than us. I mean, like, why are there not more female roofers, plumbers, you know what I mean, miners? I can keep going on the list, right? So
Yeah, I know
I
what
think
you
it's just
mean. I like
because,
this point of view.
yeah, yeah. So I think it's just that's what we're better at. And if the thing is, there are women CEOs. So if you have that in you, those characteristics to be in that position, then fuck yeah, dude, go for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that we need more.
No,
Like,
and you know what? I also believe that now we are getting more and more complex, like how the world's getting faster and faster.
mhm,
You can realize that each and one of us has a feminine and a masculine side, even male, female, doesn't matter, in different mix of, like little this, little that, big this, big that. And
right.
as people are realizing this, also recap for these homosexual things, because so many people are afraid of this and hating this, because I'm sure 100% they feel something inside them, but they know the world not accept this or don't like this, so they hide it and push it down, and it became this nervous system reaction that I hate this in myself, so I'm gonna hate everyone around me. And
Yeah, there's a couple things there. Um, when you're growing up and you see some food that your parents make and it doesn't look good, so you're like, no, but then they're like, well, you have to at least try it to
yeah,
know, right?
my
So
mom
that's
called it ugly but tasty.
there
We
you
also,
go. There you go. Right. So, and I go back to this example because pretty much everybody's gone through that. You
yeah,
don't knock it till you try it, right? Don't judge a book by its
yeah,
cover. There's so many things, right?
right.
So I think that's what we're don't have the ability to try it because if you try it, can you still be considered straight? Can you still be accepted into these straight circles, into these tribes that we've created, right?
Yeah.
A lot of them you can't. A lot of them you can't. So it's better to be accepted. So I'm not even going to try. And then There's another one. There's another one too. Oh yeah, okay. If you think about how much time it takes for someone to be more open or more intellectual, you're not born open and intellectual. It takes time to learn that, right?
Sure.
Some people it takes 50 years, some people it takes 20 years, right? But
Yeah.
we can all agree that there's a time before you had that ability, right?
Sure.
So we could argue that there's never going to be a time where everyone is in the open and knowing, because it literally takes time to know that. So I feel like that's just nature. That's just like our nature, like, because there's still
Mm.
tribes, there's still uncontacted tribes that are doing stuff that we were doing thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So there's always going to be someone that's in that time period where they're like a little immature or they're not. And some people go 60 years doing that, 80
Yeah, I
years, and then
know.
die, and they just mature their whole life. So because if there's ever one person that stays in that moment, then we will always have someone who feels weird to do that.
Yeah,
And
but for
so
me,
I'm
the,
not, and I don't mean to say like it's doomed, like we're doomed as a population, but I just feel like that's the beautiful balance of things, is that we can never be tiered
oh,
towards one
yeah, I
side.
know.
You know what I mean?
For me, the biggest conclusion from this is that at the beginning, when even before I started Intimezology, like 10, 15 years ago, I wanted to understand people, like how their brain works, why they do this, why they do that, and blah, blah, blah. And then I realized, like, I never gonna understand them. So first step I did, like, okay, if I cannot understand them, how can I accept them? Like accept that everyone is different and everyone will have, when I saw like somebody had left a bad review on the pyramids in Egypt, and it was like giving 1 star because it was too sandy, and why there is no more shops, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like you cannot be good enough for everyone. So once you let this go, it's yeah, and never late. Like I think my mom is 62, and her life is like she's living her second teenagerhood, compared to her. I feel like
Mm,
a granny, and age is just a
mm,
fucking
mm,
number, and I would feel
mm-hmm.
like I have no kids. I'm like so many things, and you just still have to accept yourself, myself, and let's just peace with it.
Yeah, I think I like you said it. Um, I just am naturally, I'm extremely observant of things, and at first, like when I'm younger, I didn't really care so much about people. And as I got
Mm,
older, that observance kind of
yeah,
shifted over to people as I interacted more, as I traveled more, as I saw new cultures, and that was like different ways of living. And um, it learning the cultures helped me, and then psychology as well, helped me give a little bit more to the reason. And so
yeah,
even if there was 80 reasons, if I can find one or two that makes sense, then I can accept it more,
sure.
because a lot of it is how we're raised and the environment. So you'll always have someone who becomes like a murderer or something, but then they'll have like a brother or a sister and they were raised in the same environment and they were completely fine. And then you
Mm.
have, all these opposite things. So there's
So, what's
just
your mantra when something goes shit, and how you try to stay calm and reasonable?
um from someone doing something or just life happening.
Life happening.
Life happening, I go back to the balance. You can't have every day be good. You can't have everything be good. You have to pay
That's
the,
good.
you know what I mean? If you want something really good, then something's got to be real shit for a little
The
bit.
yin yang
And
other
whether that,
side, yeah.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. All when they say non-binary, I don't believe in non-binary. That's the only thing, because everything is binary,
Black
maybe
and
within the
white,
spectrum
yeah.
of that, but there's an extreme to everything, right?
Yeah,
So,
so
um,
true.
so back to that, and that whether it being Taoist or Taoist, I just, even from a mathematical perspective, your mind is here, you gotta add to it. You know what I mean? That's just so on all these different aspects of life that it goes into. If you just stick to that and be like, it's okay, it's shit right now, but we got time on our hands. So let's
Yeah.
just wait a little bit more and something great, is and I think that it's not about not having the bad time, it's about having the bad time go shorter. So as soon as you can like be like,
Yeah.
oh shit, it's shit, but it's only for a little bit. What can I be grateful for now that's been happening? Boom, all of a sudden you're in a better mindset.
No,
So
because it's
yeah,
so
that helps.
interesting. I like to ask this question from my interview partners, and everyone tells the same, but different thing on same thing on different ways.
Yeah.
And one of my previous, I don't know if you know, probably not, Bonnie Dolce. She's a Hungarian girl, and she said like all in my molecules. I cannot let that stress spread in my body. And I was like, oh my God, I fucking love this. And then, everybody has this little universe. And I'm grateful. I don't know if you remember, but in 2024, I already invited you because you answered one of my posts. I was asking like, who's going to be the next interview partner? And you said like, pick me, pick me. Blah, blah. I wrote it back or what I read it back, yeah,
Responded, right? Yeah, yeah.
and you said like, yeah, you are into this lifting the spirit up, or how much do you consider yourself as a spiritual person?
Yeah, it's it's interesting because using so like as time, certain periods of time, certain words will become more popular. Like in,
I
people are
know,
like fasting. All of a sudden, everyone started fasting, and then like
I know.
male toxicity, and
Yeah,
so
it's getting too much, I know, but
or just like a general,
yeah,
So it's tough for me
what
to
do you
use that
believe
word.
in?
Right, because when you say, as soon as you say the word, or even if I'm trying to say my experience of my parents, a lot of people don't. They think of their experience with their parents, so it's
Yeah,
kind of like, you know what I mean. So
it
it's
means
it's
a
tough
lot
to
of
use.
things in a lot of different head.
Yeah, yeah. So when you say spirituality, then a lot of people are immediately like thinking a certain
Ghosts
way.
and
Yeah, yeah, and
woo-hoo
it kind of
and
closes, or it
yeah,
closes, right?
I
So
know.
I think I like to prove stuff. I don't
Mm,
like to just believe. There is a component of that, but I really like to test stuff out, right? Like, why don't we find it out? So when it comes to really grandiose things like that, like how are you going to test it out? Die and see if, you know what I mean? If there's actual, you can't come back from that,
I
right?
thought you're gonna say some manifestation or stuff.
No, I mean, um, I don't know. I've pondered so many different things, whether it be like religions or like the manifestation, right?
Mhm.
Think it, feel it, and then and believe it, and then it like comes to
Embrace
fruition.
it somehow.
Right, but I'm not completely sold on that. Like I feel for me it's more of just having like a daily peace.
Yeah.
Spirituality is almost like something to blame, or like when something goes wrong, like, oh, my spirituality, or like when something goes good, it's because of something else. It's like, no, it's because I did that. Like
Yeah.
I should give myself some credit for, you know what I mean? Even having a child, like if God or whatnot created, it's like, well, who had the sex? And where's
Yeah.
the, you know what I mean? So
I
in
know.
that not that I am not, I mean, I do feel more of like that there's this collective consciousness. If you think of a swarm, there's all these individual bees, but it's the swarm. So I feel like spirituality is this collective of the consciousness. But I don't know, even when you're talking about like physics and stuff like that, okay, everyone has their own perception, right? Right.
Okay, there are some research, and if you do your own, like you can figure it out that they are very much proved, like
However,
energies and frequencies.
what's the limit? There's got to be a limit.
Limitless. No.
Because no, because think about this. If let's say, because it goes to the observer, right? Let's say I'm walking backwards. I'm
Okay.
not seeing what's behind me, but
Yeah.
does that mean what's behind me doesn't exist?
No.
I'm
Okay,
still
now
to
you
something, right?
froze.
So even a blind person, they're not observing, you know what I mean? They're not observing stuff, but they're still, if you run into this tree, I'm gonna run into that same tree. regardless of what your perception is,
Okay.
regardless if you want to feel right. So where's the limit? Where's the consistency
Okay, I
between our
tell you
perceptions?
where is the limit. I heard a good one. You don't have to close your eyes, or even who is watching, you don't have to close
Sure.
your eyes. But the thing is, you have to say happiness in your head without saying it out loud. And when you do it, I'm asking like, who said it and who heard it, because you didn't say and didn't hear anything basically, but you heard and said it. So, and it's so good and it's
Well,
true.
maybe that's what it is because it's not speech. You have, in order to say something, it's considered speech. So maybe
Telepathy,
it's not,
even
it's
with
just using the
myself.
wrong words. It could be a thought instead of us saying it, right? Maybe you weren't actually saying it because saying it requires
Okay, so it's not
compression and refraction of
enough
molecules to
proof
make
for
sound, right?
you. So it's not my
See,
soul. It's not my, I don't know, third eye dimension.
I think it's because it's like too easy to just give it a name for that and be like, so how do we know? It's because we're in the belief. You see what I mean? It works for some people. It works for a lot of people. It keeps me curious. It keeps me wanting to find out more. And just that it's okay.
Wait,
um,
because maybe the Wi-Fi, or I don't know if you moved your phone, but until this time, the view and the sound is perfect. Now it's kind of blurry and maybe
oh, is that better?
I'll just give a sec because I can see your face. Until this time, it was so clear and okay, now I'm
Yeah,
feeling
it's
back.
really clear on
Okay,
my end.
now
Right.
now I see. Okay. Wait,
Maybe adjust.
I wrote some questions. Yeah, I already asked this. Yeah, have that. Yeah, social media. Do you think social media brings people closer together or just creates the illusion of intimacy?
Yeah, definitely illusion.
Really?
Definitely.
It
Oh
can be
yeah.
used
I
for
feel like
good causes, not
I
just
feel like both.
bad.
I feel like
Yeah.
both. I feel like both. Yeah. Um, there's always the good with the bad, right? You have family members who are distant who can now, communicate and whatnot, and that's obviously like a good thing, cool thing that comes from it. There's a lot of business that has put their dollars into social media, and so
Mm,
there's a huge component of advertising and
yeah.
taking time away from us living our actual lives here. So if we're here, obviously you're in Hungary, so it's a little more difficult. But if I'm messaging my friend or something like, why don't we just go hang out in person?
Yeah. What
why?
happened within such a short
We
time that we are not
stopped,
going out?
we're not prioritizing time for, because do I feel your energy? Not,
Okay.
it's not as, versus
Okay,
when
it's not the
when I'm in
same.
front of you.
Yeah, of
When I'm in
course.
front of you, oh my
Okay.
goodness, it's way different, right? Thank you. So that right there, it's like, okay, connecting, but what kind of connection? Like, it's just a little like I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, so
It
next
just depends how
question.
you use it, right?
People are falling in love with us or some persona what they think of us, even though we are giving ourselves, especially adult performers who are really giving straight what we are doing.
Yeah, I think what it is, it's a polished version. So there is some truth with it, but there is also like, let me get the right angle, let me put this right filter, and that's not the everyday, you know what I mean? Like the
Yeah, but
true.
for example, I did videos about even when I was crying, like my first music video, which I was making from my mishmash, like the people making them insecure, like,
So you're right. Are there are some that are, but I think from my experience from a lot of I have more experience with American performers, so I'll just say from
yeah,
American performers,
yeah.
um, there's not as much truth.
Mm.
Let's just say that,
So
it's just the
this
reality.
this rumor about that in America there are this really exists this thing like Insta friends, like they don't really know each other, they just hanging out and all the fancies parties and
they're there because it's hot to be there, you know. But then it's like when we're what we're talking about, there's nothing- you're just like, oh, it's in the area and it's so cool. The popular people are here and it's there. Don't get me wrong, it was cool, but um I'm past that.
Mm,
Not to say that I'm better. It's more of like an elevated mind, more of a evolved mind. You know, I like to talk more deeper things, for conversations, and I didn't really find that going to these red carpet events and stuff like that. I think it's just the nature, you know, where a lot of us are just models and we're paid to do that, look pretty, and not to be so intellectual and into these things. I mean, we have our hobbies like that, but I mean, like this physics talk and stuff, you know, you kind of have to
yeah,
can only talk with that with a few
yeah.
kind of people, you know. So it's just the nature of it, and I think that's why I'm not shunning it at all. I'm bringing light to the reality and saying that like it just wasn't really for me, kind of thing. Like,
Mhm.
which is why I like to be want to be more on the production side instead of like
So
performer
what would you
side.
like to
So.
produce, or what's your atmosphere, your
Man, I'm still trying to like pin it down.
you have, I'm sure, favorites like who
I'm
almost there?
so really what I want to do is get around like introducing newer actresses and actors in, so
Mm,
not like trying to hire names that are already known and whatnot.
nice.
Just to pull up more traffic. I do have connections with X Hamster, which is the
Mhm.
rival for Pornhub, and they consider me like a higher performance um, performer. So that connection, you
Cool.
know, I have a little in with marketing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's more about just having the consistent people that are serious about it, making sure we're hiring enough girls on a consistent
Mhm.
basis, getting enough scenes filmed, and just having like a good portfolio so that we can release on a consistent basis. People know that we're
Mhm.
going to have something new. They're going to want to come back. And
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, I have it all planned. I just need to make sure that those are all set before the trigger on launch. So
Wait a second. Maybe I will switch one.
uh,
Okay, maybe now it's better. Oh yeah.
yeah, it looks really clear on your end. So
Now it's okay. Yeah, we'll
okay.
see. What advice would you give to someone who is trapped by the identity they've built on the internet?
That's a good one. Probably a pretty good person to ask. Trapped by your identity. Well, the cool thing about it is you can completely reset and
Yeah.
everyone would be like, so if you were like Anastasia and then you just delete everything, they're like, where did Anastasia go? All they can do is look up your old stuff. You know,
Yeah.
even if you change the name and you start posting out stuff, as soon as they type in the new name, none of the Anastasia stuff comes up. Or so I
Okay.
think
I would debate that because this is one of my biggest problem because since maybe my last proper shooting was years and years ago, if I look up my name, there still exists 2026 Dolly Dior,
okay,
you
okay.
know, like
I think more of like if you go to like, so is that if you go to like Pornhub and you type in the performer name,
yeah.
those really, that's weird.
Yeah, because once they
Hmm.
set it out, like once there is not no
So they
traffic,
like
they sell
attach
it
your old name to it. Ah, okay, okay.
and they are
Well,
sell it as a new one, and a new site, a new page, because for them it's
well,
new.
I would argue um, the more the more you can post with the new name and the new brand, the
Yeah.
more that feeds the algorithm and the more it pushes the old stuff out. I had a friend who was with, she's a music artist, and she was
Mhm.
with a host of No Jumper, which is a really big podcast. So she was
Mhm.
afraid that if she broke up with him on like not the best terms, that he would feel some type of way and put out all her bad stuff on his
Yeah.
podcast and stuff. But I told her, I was like, people like you, people want to support you, they don't really want to support him. And if you're going to be held and tied down with someone or something that you don't like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's worse than taking the chance to cut it, do what you need to do, and just stick to that. Yeah, your past may come up a little bit, whatever, but the more you can show them that this new one is you, the
Yeah.
more they believe it. And that's the only thing, you have to just surpass what you've done in the past, and
No,
that's
I'm
what I think.
struggling with
I
this a
think
lot. It's really hard.
I think it's yeah, see, that's tough. See, like people say stuff on comments and stuff, and I don't even get phased by it. So people are, some people it really hits them. So I think and it's tough too, because if you're in that mindset, you may not feel as creative, right? And that's the thing you need to do, is create more.
Yeah.
So I see how that could be tough, but I think maybe just being around people who really care about you to remind you of that, collabing with other people, so it's not just you in your head and bouncing ideas off with other people. I think you just got to give it time.
No, but I'm going back to square number one when this judgment and constant comparing to one and to another. So biggest mission is to stop this and live. Just let people be, and until they are done harm and don't cause any trouble, they are just live happily. Okay, in America, people can, I guess, wear pink hair and laughing on the streets with no problem because, okay, in Las Vegas, I'm sure the people used to it. But in Hungary, if you are just even smiling or look at somebody's in the eye, they think like something's on their face, or you are high on something, or you shouldn't be this happy. Like, what the fuck? Like, what
You
would
know,
you
it's in,
tell them?
it's interesting because if you observe, there tends to be a lot of consistencies with people who color their hair, and they tend to be living in certain cities and you just can't. There's cities in the US where you can't do that. They'll be weird and they will give you bad service. This is in the US that, and also I think what we get with media in the US is like very small parts.
Yeah.
And I travel all across the whole country with a job now, so I get a really good of. I used to live in Kentucky, Michigan, Georgia, and California, and Vegas. So, and then I've traveled to New York, Miami. So, like the big cities, there's a country. You're a huge country. I don't know if you really know that or not. It's giant, and, but not all of it gets advertised.
Wait, okay, you were frozen a
Um,
bit, but most of your words I understood. So yeah, like
oh.
good to go.
So, um, I think what it is there's areas in the US where you have more freedom to do that. Um, but it comes with a cost. It comes with a certain mentality. And a lot of these liberal cities, they're really being manipulated so that the money can go into the pockets of like legislators and stuff like that. And I
Mm.
grew up in California. I was born and raised in Los Angeles, and for
So
the majority of my life I lived there. So I saw how it was in the 90s to how it is now. And having my knowledge of psychology and like, humanities, and
mm,
talk about a multicultural melting pot, and kind of like seeing where the money's going, and taxes and housing prices and all that
you
stuff.
see
It's like,
behind the
okay, yeah,
curtain.
you can wear pink hair for your freaking apartment. So you tell me what's better. Like, so I mean, I do believe that we should be able to do what we want, but you also have to recognize that you people are people. So if you want thing, like, you're gonna get, you know what I mean? If you post something on Instagram, you're gonna get reactions. That's just
Yeah,
it.
you have to deal
So
with it. You have to first
so
deal with
be
yourself.
confident. Yeah, people are
But
gonna give you shit
confidence comes
whether you're
from
wearing.
failure. If you are not fall 100 or million times, you won't come like, oh, come on, what the fuck? I already noticed that, and it happened everything. So what else can happen now? Nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And you're still here. You got through it. You're still
Yeah.
here. So
I'm sure my
keep going.
haters still wonder, like, how the fuck is she still standing? Like,
Yeah, and see, and that helps fuel it because they're engaging. right? That's
Mhm.
just
You know, our
shoot. I
example,
mean,
especially, I don't know if you started to post on TikTok. It's like so crazy, so different than Instagram, and it grows fast. So I kind of started to post there, and there is this one guy. Okay, now we made a positive outcome of the start, but he started to comment on every videos of mine, like, "Oh, this is boring. Oh my God, this is again," and I'm like. Man, you are watching every videos of mine. You are my most engagement maker. Like you literally making the traffic under
you know
my
what I mean?
video. So you are not earning what you wanted. And people don't realize this. So yeah, in
Right. And
TikTok, watch out. It's hard.
yeah, and I think that's what it is and what helps me with the Tony Fontana because it's a persona, right? It's not me kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I look at it as like a business entity. Yes, I don't want people talking shit about my business, but at the end of the day, whether they're talking shit or not, if they're buying my thing,
Yeah,
I don't
that's the
care.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you're buying
There is
it. You know, you're engaged
no
or engaging
negative
with.
commercial. Commercial is a commercial, like whether it's
There you go,
negative or
publicity.
positive.
There
Yeah,
you go. So I see it more like that, and and the more you put it out there, there's still going to be good ones with the bad.
sure.
Like yeah. So I don't know. You
No, I'm
just focus.
struggling with this because,
Like
I'm the one who is not following the trends, like copying each. Okay, there are some good ones I like and I try to filter or something, but it's so hard to, like day by day. But you will see if you want to produce, like after a while, if you really know your taste, your view and everything, and there is not so many things that you can change on. So you really have to
yeah.
like find something more inside. Oh,
Yeah, for me with the creativity, it was really finding out because I started in music. I have a music engineering degree too, and I was DJing in Avalon in Hollywood and really
I
going that
remember.
route. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
What was with that?
Um, I don't know. Music industry is real finicky. It's gone away from like the quality of the music and more to just like filling seats and
Yeah,
stuff. So I still do music on my side. I still like DJ. It's fun, but I feel like also too, I was focusing more on the porn, whatever industry. So like put that aside
yeah.
and I was really also just trying to find something that was really bringing in the money. I thought the adult industry would, didn't so much the way that I was doing it. So I found out I was like, okay, if I want to stay in it, then I got to kind of like shift this way, right?
As
So
I heard,
now I'm in a
guys are
much
making more money in America because they pay, like really the what's the pH or physical part.
BG.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, how do I put it? Last month I made like $20,000.
For
So
me, it sounds a lot. Yeah.
that's a lot of shooting. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, yeah, you
It's a lot, but you have to
also
work a
too,
lot.
also the I'll just put it out there. The top performers stick their dick, they inject their penis with stuff and I didn't feel like I wanted to so because if you're shooting like all the fucking time, right? You gotta do that. And there was even an instance where one of my exes had a scene with the top performer, male performer of last year.
Yeah.
He didn't have much of a load, so he goes, "Hold on one second," goes to the bathroom, comes back, and then all of a sudden he has a load. And she said it was like it tasted weird, like it wasn't natural and all stuff. And so I'm just like, "What is going on?" You know what I mean? That's too far. You
You
shouldn't have to do that.
you know what I see within 10 years? Like in the beginning, when I started in 2015, there was a very, very small circle of guys who were working in a business, who were trustable, who the director knew that they can come anytime and they can come anytime.
Right.
And it was so hard to get in. And that was my other question, but let's put it at the end. I will get
Sure.
back to it later. But for guys, it's so hard to get in the business. And when you are in it, it doesn't mean like you're gonna call by big productions. And before,
Exactly.
if you are good and you can get a hard on and you can come anytime, and if you can give a proof of it, you can do it. And all times you could do it through grannies and gay porn. Now,
Mm.
if you have already a follower base, they will call you because they
Hmm.
need your traffic as well. They are not
Exactly.
sharing theirs, they are stealing now yours. So you are very
Yep.
clever to do your own, because then porn maybe give you once a big paycheck, but then never again. And they make money for the rest of their lives.
Over and
But
over and over.
if you turn it around, then it will be the same. So I'm really rooting for you. And the big question
Thank
is,
you.
guys asking how can they get in the business? I always tell them, like, look it up on Google, start to jerk off online, record it, upload it, and if it blows up, it's meant for you. Anything
Hmm.
else beside that?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's just oh, you want to get into it. Okay, do you have a page? Boom, step one, get a page, bro.
Get
Where's your
photos.
resume?
Yeah.
What do you look like? Yeah, exactly. What can you do? But there's also a component of having the look. I didn't have a whole lot of videos. Here I was with there's tons of agents, but there's like three in America that are at the top. Like if you're with them, you're gonna get booked with like the legit companies and stuff. But
Mm.
the first year I was in, I was with one of the lower agents just to get
Mhm.
my foot in the door. I saw the roster and I was like, oh yeah, I'll get accepted. So I got accepted because I sent them photos. I took photos, sent it to them, right?
Yeah.
And with them, I ended up getting there was this ex Playboy model that was doing girl girl for like 10 years and she was
Yeah.
shifting into boy girl. So
And
she
you were
looked
the
on the
first one.
roster and she picked me. Yeah, so I was like to do not to do
Nice.
a boy girl, but it was to do content, right?
Hmm.
Because she had like a videographer friend. So like that right there, if you're getting picked out of a list, and then my second year in, the female performer of the year of that year reached out to me to do content. So
Wow.
I was like brand new. So I
Wow.
mean,
That's a huge
I got that.
compliment.
So
Come on.
it was, and it was. She was friends with Liv. It was Kira
Okay.
Noir. So yeah, shout out Kira.
Mm. I
And yeah, so that's kind of where, okay, if that happens, then like, yeah, you're supposed to be here, right? Like, kind of meant for you. So, and I feel like it's easier to get that now because um if you get onto Twitter, I mean, that's the holy grail, right? All the performers are on there. They can find
yeah.
you out. They can retweet you. They can put you on because they're like, we
Yeah.
want this guy. We want to fuck this guy.
You have to be seen.
So yeah,
No,
yeah.
sorry.
And
For
if you're not doing that, no, the tip on, if you're not getting that, it's gonna be a because I was there, my second year in, I'm getting hit up by this girl, and there was people there had been in there for like 4 or 5 years. We're getting kind of like "Want that goal, or do you want to resist? Like, not for you. So
wait, now I froze again. What I didn't mention about the injection part, like before, they didn't mind if somebody injected because there was not so many guys. But nowadays, there are so many guys that they are, if they cannot come within 5 seconds after the directors say, they are like, started to get pissed off, put more pressure on the guys. Some girls don't even help them to, make it easier. So
hmm.
I'm not jealous of the guys nowadays, like it's so much pressure on them. And if you are not crazy pervy inside to get a heart on even for a granny picture or a potato, I don't know, suit, like you
Right, like through a
fucked,
pumpkin.
cooked,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting. I recently hooked up with an older model who used to be in it like years ago. Ran into her at Myrtle Beach, and she somewhat recently, did a scene coming like back, and she said someone told her that she's like, it's not like it used to be. It's not like it used to be, and yeah, so me getting into it and seeing that, never getting the experience of how it used to be, and only how it is now. yeah, it was, I feel like that's why I stuck in with it for 4 years, because I needed to see if I didn't want to just give up. I needed to see, like, do I just need to be patient and just like work through it?
Yeah,
But yeah, I noticed that it's like I could get into that extra pervy mode, but then you're almost like too far when they need you to pull back. You
it's
can't,
hard to
you know
be
what I mean?
balanced.
You're
Yeah.
either on or you're off. And then
For
with the whole
for us,
advent
it's
of,
easier because of the makeup. But how you get in the mood when you don't have big change? Like I cannot
you're
even
like,
imagine.
you just, yeah, it's all here, right? You're totally different mindset. He's just animal.
Yeah.
And
So
um so with Twitter and everything, um it's almost a thing like you just show up, you just introduce yourself to the girl, if that, and you get the script, you read the script, you don't even practice with her. You just stick to yourself, and then once the director says, all right, 10 minutes till shoot, you get yourself ready, and then that's it. There's no like interaction unless you're already an established actor.
yeah.
Then just leave her alone, because they could go back to Twitter and say some weird stuff. There's just too many weird stories. So a lot of guys now will avoid that. And the older model that I was speaking with, she said, yeah, she's like, I experienced the same thing. And it was just so weird. She's like, I'm used to just getting down on my knees and saying, hi, how are you? Gluck, gluck, like, and I was like, oh my God, that sounds amazing. Why is it not like that anymore?
Good
Oh, I
old
want that
days.
so bad. Yeah, you're just like, hi, how are you? Wonderful. Let's get
Now
this
you have
going.
to fill like million resume and like multiple questionnaire, like what was your childhood trauma based on and
Yeah, yeah. You can't call me bitch because someone called me that. It makes me feel some type of way. You can't smack me on my right cheek because my ex-boyfriend hit me there. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, okay,
and
and
I'm
next,
not
next.
fucking only on a wash machine, like no bed, no couch.
Just a flat wooden desk.
Oh my God. Yeah, but
Oh my
people
God,
are not realizing, like, if I could say, like, what's the common thing in all of adult performers, like, we are multiple traumatized and we are like such a broken souls inside and we are desperately want love and give love and find the right way what we can both give and receive and people not see this.
right.
And for example, when I started to do porn, my brother wasn't even surprised, like it's
It's like,
so
yeah.
sad, but he knew that sex was my way to express love. That was the way I was expect love show up and love show
Mm.
itself through chemistry and intimacy and passion and this wow boom boom fireworks and it's really not and to realize this in this heaven and hell dynamic, it's really exhausting. So you can kind of burn out in it, like it did with me a little bit, I'm sure.
Yeah, and it went really towards, it's everything that was art is sort of pulling away from the art and more towards the sales,
Mainstream,
music,
stretching that
video,
whole
movies.
bigger.
But yeah, right. Let's fit another one in there and another one. And I feel like, this was supposed to be like sexual art.
Yeah.
So the only way to really hold to that nowadays is to own your own production company, so that you can make sure that the script is there, that the performers are actually showing that there, and keep it back to the art like how it used to be. But unfortunately or fortunately, there's just a lot more companies that need to make their money, and that's what they're here for. And
Mhm.
so they're going more for like clickbait stuff, whatever is trying to get more clicks, whatever is trying to get more sales. And yeah, that's just so, and I feel like that's for some people are cool with that. Some performers are totally okay with that. And
Yeah.
and I think it's more of just, instead of trying to be that person if you're not, just recognizing that you're not, and that's fine. You can still have sex, a bunch of sex.
Yeah. Oh, it's for everybody, definitely.
Yeah. But
Mm.
you don't know until you try it. So right.
Yeah. We say like pudding trial is the taste or something like this translated to English.
Right.
Like
Oh, okay. There's
yeah.
like a different saying. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. I'm really happy for you and thank you so much. There was one more question in my head, but the pudding pushed it out. So for everyone who's gonna watch back later this whole interview with Tony Fontana, if you have any question or your thoughts, please share with us. It will remain maybe on both of our pages here on Instagram. And as you might expect from me, I'm gonna cut it out to funny shorts and just to keep the most info or most important parts of it. Oh, thank you, really,
Heck
and
yeah.
I'm super
Yeah.
happy
Thank you
for
so much for having
you.
me.
And it's
Yeah. And
great, and I really hope that you're gonna inspire more people that if they trapped in some bad review or some, like you couldn't find your audience at first or it went a little too far, to one way you can always come out of it, even to keep your name.
yeah. And I think there's even like that too. Like I'm an artist at the end of the day. I love art, whether it's music, performing, or doing like, videos and stuff. So I think that's the first question is, are you doing this for the art? Or are you doing this to like just make some money?
Yeah, exactly.
And
The
so, you
motivation.
know what I mean? So, especially if you're doing it for the art, like, yeah, just keep at it, just keep trying. You don't have to be as consistent as all these other
Yeah,
profiles and stuff like that. It's like at the end of the day, if you're looking at what you've produced and you can feel like a connection to it, that's all that freaking matters.
yeah,
Um, so yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Okay, then.
But oh my gosh, it's so nice to catch up after all this time.
Yeah, I know. But this is why I love internet because even though we can't keep in touch, like daily, but we can see online sometimes posting or, ooh, you are rebranding now. Let's see what you have in mind. I'm really good to be part of this big family because I feel like even though I'm sure you know so many performers who you may never met, but you see them so many times in the internet, like you feel like you know them,
Yeah.
and I feel like,
Yeah.
yeah, a small sand in the dessert, but it's my dessert. It's our dessert. And I love to be a part of it. I would never want to
Hell
wash it
yeah.
away.
I know. When I was rebranding, I wasn't sure if I was gonna just stop adult, and or to rebrand. And as I took a little more time, I was like, this is just part of me. I can't
Mhm.
just stop.
I know.
So I'm
I
glad
know.
that you reached out to me and we
Ooh,
got this because it's kind of like
yeah,
reiterating that.
the question came on my mind. Would you
Oh,
do
sure, sure.
educational porn? And if you would, how would you produce it? Because I'm on this also.
Okay.
So I'm
Yes.
curious.
I actually maybe not so much like are you talking about like joy, like jerk off instruction or
Like, I don't know, my it was a specific 4 episode series in my head, like based on, like first just teasing, looking at each other, then
okay.
touching slowly, and then build up in four like really long and details, more like inner
Okay.
connection kind.
So um what I wanted to do, and I already have kind of like in my notes a sort of program. I
Mhm.
wanted to create a program for males um getting into okay, so like there's all these facets of the industry, right? Aside from
Yeah.
just performing mainstream.
Hmm.
So as I was noticing a lot of these guys asking me how to get into it, I was seeing more as like maybe 10, let's say 5% of the guys hitting me up would actually fit into this
Hmm.
category, right?
Yeah.
But that's so small. So what if I could help them out, open up their eyes to all these other things, right? And so I
Yeah.
started thinking of like, okay, do you want to perform mainstream? Do you want to do OnlyFans? Do you want to be just the camera guy? Like, right?
It's so
And then
cool.
if you wanted to do mainstream, I was like, okay, where are you geographically located? What's your age? Your
This is
height,
like
weight,
an
like
agency who just set their roots
kind.
and help them bloom.
But to also recognize if this is actually for you or not, because that's
Oh
what a
yeah,
lot of
yeah,
guys,
yeah,
if it's not for you, then they need to know it's
yeah.
not for you, right?
That's
Instead of just like,
cool. And if you are willing
well,
to
you
tell
can
them
try.
honestly, it's nice.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Coming from a guy who's been in it, instead of just some girl like, oh, you won't make it. It's
Yeah.
kind of like, bro, but if you're not for this, with based off your categories that you're filling out on here,
I'm
you might be for
sorry.
this. You see what I
I'm
mean?
sorry,
And
I'm
so they're
so
gonna,
visual, and I was just picturing in my head that the guys are going there. Who are you to tell me otherwise? Like, say, "Whoosh." I was like, okay, okay,
okay,
okay.
okay, maybe you got it. All right, all right. Yeah, so it
I'm
was
sorry.
really, instead of just being like, what do I have to do? I'm not gonna send these guys to go take a picture, set up an OnlyFans, reach out to the agency when they should be doing something else, or maybe just
Yeah,
OnlyFans, or you know what I mean? And
there's so
that's
many
really
other
kind of went
parts
from
of
like the
it that they
education
can.
and the help that they just have no idea. So if I could really break it down, then there's value there, right? Like there's some guy would, and I feel like if I just have that whole program thing, you fill out where you fit in into all these
Yeah.
things, and then at the end it's kind of like, you know what, maybe it's not for you, most likely. Like you could still
Oh, it's
try,
good.
don't get me wrong,
It's
but
yeah.
might be better to do this instead. And instead, because how many messages do you get, how do I get in? And I get that,
I
you get
know
that all the time, right? So how do I steer them in the right
it's good.
direction?
It's
And
really a gap
yeah,
which needs to more leadership.
and so if my videos start to get more, popular, then maybe we'll just end up getting less of these messages, because it'll be like since you just send me the link of my video, you know what I mean? They don't have to say
Yeah.
anything.
Wait, what's that video with that girl who's gonna take me home? And I guess you were the volunteer one.
Oh,
What was
yeah.
that?
Yeah, that's one of my claim to fame. So there was this new performer event that was ran by I think it's the same company that runs AVN.
Yeah.
So I met her at one of these things, and I thought she was really attractive, so I said like, let's do some content. And she suggested this idea. She was like, she's like, I'm a comedian, and I've always wanted to see if anyone would come home with me. But she said that she pitched that idea to like four other guys and they weren't down.
Oh my God. So
So
you were the
so
first
when
who
I was
said
like,
yes?
fuck yeah, I'm down. And she was like, yes, let's do it. So
So it
yeah,
was
I
half
went. I
staged
found out the
or
night that she was. Mm, yes, it was staged. We'll just say that. Yeah, it was. But
but in the public it
um,
was first time without any rehearsal, right? So it was kind of random too.
we ended up having sex in her car in the Hollywood Hills. This wasn't like at a house or
This
anything.
is a
Yeah,
yes man people we should follow.
yeah, the video is online. So that's what the cool thing was because so just a little snippet, and you don't even see me in the video, and it ended up getting like 4 million
I
views.
was sure I
And
recognized by your necklace. I was sure it's you.
uh, well, you know me, so.
Yeah.
But no, so they're constantly all these comments. Half the comments are like, "Was it real? It's staged." And I'm like, "Go check the video. Like, go look at the video. I went home with her and I had sex with her, and there's proof of it."
Oh my God. Yeah. The
So
people
so
are,
when I
like
say that, they're kind of like, "Was it real? Was it fake?" It's like,
they
yeah.
can't get it in their mind that there are people who live by their desire, their emotions, in living in a flow. Like I can't even sometimes explain to people who live, like monthly, paycheck by paycheck, and they are working in one workplace for 20 years. They don't know how many things you can fit in one day. I'm like master of it. And
Oh my gosh, tell me about it. I'm a team project lead so my job is we get these national contracts around the whole country to
Mhm.
change out paper products and soap.
Yeah.
So right now we have this big hospital chain that we're doing the whole hospital, like switching it out. And I'm the team lead of the project.
Wow.
So before this, I was just on the phone with my one of my coworkers, like a manager, tallying up the our totals from like these other workers and making sure that the paperwork
Oh
matches and all this
man,
stuff. And then now I'm on this podcast doing this, and then I'm
this
going to do something
feeling.
later today. So yeah, exactly. You can do a hell of a lot in a freaking day. It's
No,
24
this
hours, so much
feeling
time,
is
right?
so familiar when you are working from something totally else and then you switch into this pornish atmosphere and kind of like, you coming out again. And
Yeah,
is
yeah.
any coworker knows in there that what you do on the side, or what's this, how you manage this topic? Because for me, it's a tricky one. I lost several jobs for this because I told them.
So that's now the difference. That's one also difference between male and female performers.
Yeah.
That yeah, like I said, women usually tend to get shunned from a lot of
Yeah.
normal circles and stuff, and
For the
it's sad. I
same
see
damn
that, and I
thing, but they
feel
are get you get respect for.
right. And then also too, I'm getting paid a lot less than you guys in this industry too. So like I would gravitate towards it. You know what I mean? Well, that's why I'm doing this regular job, right? But so where was I going with that? I lost my train of thought. Um,
No, but you get respected,
what
you
were we
get
talking?
bullied, and did you share
Oh yeah,
your?
yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think I can get away with it because from every job that I do, I start at the bottom and I work my way up to number two. Every single job, I
But
become
you tell at the end and the beginning, or keep it as a secret as long as you can. And when they figure it out, you will get like, "Oh my god, man! Why didn't you tell me? You're so cool! Like, come on, high five!" This is how I
it's
picture.
interesting. So with my previous with the job that I had, the regular job that I had before this one, I told them pretty much like right away from the get-go, like I like
Yeah.
doing acid. I like, you know what I mean? Like I have been an escort manager before. Like I've had 7 girls under me and stuff. Like
Oh my god,
they
I
know it
didn't
all.
even know this part. You have to tell.
Yeah. She's like, I didn't know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Used to
Oh
have,
my
yep,
god.
yep. That was good times, man. So, but with this new job, it was little by little. I think was because the owner of the previous job, he had to sell his business and now he's working for this company now. So I got brought on by
Yeah.
this guy that already knows
See.
I've done the stuff, right?
Okay.
So he already
It wasn't
knew.
a big issue.
But the owner of the company didn't know. So actually just recently I sent him the pictures of Slovenia with Liv. I literally just did like last week because we were joking around and he sends me there. He just moved to Phoenix, so he was in Vegas, and there was like a show, right? And there was like BDSM stuff, and he looked just like me. It was weird. It was really weird. He sent me a picture of the guy, and I was like, "What the fuck?" So he was like, "Oh, I didn't know you were a performer." Like joking around, right? And I go, "You should see my pictures from Slovenia." And he was like, "What? What pictures?" So I was on my laptop and I was looking and I'm like, oh, here they are. And I sent it to him and he was like, oh, wow. But like I said, I'm so detrimental to the company that what are you gonna lose your best worker just because he has sex on
Yeah.
camera kind of thing?
Yeah.
Like
It happened based on true story. So I don't want to get
I
into
believe
it,
it.
but
So
yeah.
no, totally. And it's discrimination kind of thing. And if he decided to do that, then I would be like, you know what? That's fine. Like it's, the bad with the good thing. You know what? It's an opportunity to get a win environment that wouldn't accept me to now try to go to another one that possibly would, right? Instead of me just
Um,
complaining and feeling sad
yeah.
because they don't accept me, you know? And like even
Okay.
there was this one guy called in and he was like, um, I'm scared because I have to take a drug test for this job, but it's like the job of a lifetime. And the guy was like, if it was the job of a lifetime, you wouldn't be worried about a drug test, right? And he was
Yeah.
like, holy crap, you're right. And I was just like, try to find a job that
Point of
accepts you for
view.
doing your shit. You know what I mean? Yes, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So I think that's why if that did happen, I'll just go to the next one then. And it does suck. I mean, I don't know how long were you working with them before they cut you? Or was it like
It was different stories in
immediately?
different company, and I tried basically
Um,
everything to tell it in advance, hide it, share it with some people.
oh,
Like they always just smoking behind my back. They never used it well to take
oh,
advantage of. They can ask from someone who is really capable to answer the question. Okay, last one because we are over 1.5 hours, and I
oh
usually
yeah,
reach just an
sure,
hour, but I would love to
sure, sure,
speak more. Give me a
sure,
last
sure, sure.
anchor. I told you before that I love conspiracy theories. So, what's the biggest what you know, even just by your gut, that is true, but it's like shaking everyone's world around you who you tell?
Oh man. So I follow this guy, Ian Carroll. Do you know who Ian
Okay.
Carroll is? You do?
If you would show the face, I would maybe recognize, but not
He's
by
got like a
name.
mustache and like a beard and like longer hair. And
Maybe. Okay.
sometimes he shaves his beard, but okay. I like him because he pulls data. So like
So
email
it's
transcripts,
proves.
like yes, proof, like
Mhm.
redacted CIA files and stuff like that. And he puts it, he AI. So like when the Epstein files came out, he used AI to go through the emails and categorize them because they were all in each file. Each file was an
It's so
email. Yeah.
clever.
And so he would use like a keyword and then all of them that was with the words would like come up and you could
Oh
search.
my
Yeah.
God.
So it's not really conspiracy if it's
Yeah, yeah, I
right.
got you.
So he's uncovered, gosh, so many things, but if one of the biggest ones was the connection between Israel and Mossad and Epstein and the funding, the connection between Israel and Mossad and the US and with like political plays and stuff. And even right now, which is recently what's going on with Qatar and Iran and Netanyahu. Um, Qatar was supposed to be the neutral guys between like Palestine and Israel and like other people. And Iran bombed them and was basically like, you got to pick a side, guy. Like, yeah. And supposedly Netanyahu was doing some shady stuff, bombing them, even in their area. And they were supposed to like take the neutrality. So they're basically like having to take a side. And yeah, it's really weird because when we get information, like I have friends in the military and intelligence. CIA and intelligence get the information first, and then the news media, and then we get it, right?
Yeah,
So
they
to find
can
out what's true, if you're getting
paint
it
it
from
out
social
however
media
they
or anything like
want.
that, yeah, yeah, exactly. So I like to go to my guy that's in the military, and actually find out what's going on. So
Did you
so
see
yeah, I mean,
there is a movie, the um, Ready or Not, and the second part specifically.
I haven't seen it.
It's like a horror comedy. A girl get married into this big rich family, but this rich family has ceremonies and such. When after the
Mm,
marriage, they had to play a game, and then okay, I don't want to spoil it away. But the second part is that since the girl survived the first film, now she had to deal with the big like Rothschild kind of big families and
right, right,
repeat the
like
same game like Hunger Games, the quarter final. And then the beginning of the movie, who were the head of this like big something that nobody knows and nobody
sure,
knows how to
sure.
call, he was watching the news, and then he just picked up the phone and said like, okay, call it for truth. And then immediately, breaking news, blah, wow, wow, it's truth around the world. I'm like, what if it really goes on like this?
It
Like, it's a fucking act
it's
of,
got to.
like, it's,
It's got
oh,
to because lobbying isn't a mystery. We know that there's super PACs. I don't. Do you know about super PACs? which is like money that gets thrown into a fund to help the fund the political party that
Okay.
they like, that they want.
Okay.
So I mean, right there, if you're getting paid, that means that, so like, why are they paying? What are they getting for paying these large amounts of money, right? And
Yeah.
it's the ability to make those decisions. I mean, if you want to talk about that, the biggest conspiracy theory was Purdue Pharma with Xanax being legalized. They paid, long story short, they paid off the guy at the Treasury in the US that signs off if something's, or maybe not the Treasury, but that signs off if a drug is too addictive, kind of thing. And they tried bribing him. And he was like, no, no, no. And then finally they bribed him. He signed off on it and then resigned like a week later. And now they're paying him essentially. So just because
I
of that
see.
one
Just a
legislation change, so that because of that legislation change, we had the whole opioid epidemic, and I actually lost my mom to that. So
so
yeah, it's
sorry.
kind of, yeah, it sucks that that's part of our, our country and stuff,
No, we should. I
and
think we should really give more attention to these differences. I saw this post about a lady was collecting all the data about how many more extra ingredients have in each product in America than compared to in England or any other
oh
Europe.
yeah,
And it's like,
oh yeah,
fuck, like how we can how.
absolutely. The only way that you can do it, so okay, think about this. It's like if there's a phone company that's doing some messed up stuff, you just don't use the phone company. Now, saying just don't use a phone is really hard because we're so used to using our phones,
Yeah,
right? The only answer that I can think of, solution that I can think of is, which is why I've wanted to have land, a piece of land by the time I'm 40 years old, is grow your own food.
yeah,
Just
that's
grow
exactly
your own
what I
food.
said
You're
in
not gonna,
previous post.
yeah, you're not gonna know. You can't trust who it's coming from, because even if the big companies go away, it could develop like that again. You got to know where your water is coming from and where your food's coming from, and you have
Yeah.
to have a roof over your head. That's it,
No,
right?
but this
Everything
meat
else
is
is extra.
definitely not the old meat. Like I'm not vegan, but lately I'm craving more like for cheese. Like I just can't eat this meat. It sickens me inside.
And that you're talking about over there in Hungary. See, like Europe used to be the spot where it was like you didn't have to worry about that. Like you can, someone who's gluten reactive
No,
here in
there is
America can go
not
to
enough
Italy and eat all the
animal in the
pasta.
planet to feed everyone. Like think about like how much meat we eat and how many of us. It's impossible that there is more meat than humans. So how they produce so fucking much? Like for example, the McDonald's or Burger King. Like there's no way it's 100%.
I'm glad that you said that. That's a conspiracy. They say it's humans. It's so weird. Like that's another. They say that they harvest humans up for the meat. I don't know, because then how does the population stay up? Because that's so much meat, right? Then no one would be affected. So the what
It's
I feel
horrible.
like it's just made in a lab. Like it's just fake,
Like
not meat,
printing,
not
like 3D
humans. It's just fake.
printing.
They used to do that for the chicken nuggets. It was a pink paste. Did you ever see that video?
No.
Yes. Yeah. It was like it used to be a pink paste that would come through, and it would come in the shapes, and then it would like go gray a little bit. So then
Oh
they
my
came
god.
out with all white meat chicken nuggets. Well, if it's all white meat now, what the hell was it before?
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's just like, they make lab, like it's impossible meat because it's grown in a lab. I feel like they did something like that, but
Okay, after we gross out, we should
gotta get
we
my own.
should close it something sweet and cute and nice and positive. So once
Yes.
again, thank you so much
Yes.
for joining and be a part of this huge movement to make the world judgment free and really based on love, and where the basic values are self knowledge, self care, and the respect. And yeah, I would like to just spread it more and more. And so thank you so much for being part of it.
Yeah, and like thank you for having me. I think what you're doing with your channel is really cool, and I feel like a lot of people can benefit from that. So keep doing your thing.
I hope so. But yeah, because I think if somebody would decide that, okay, today I'm going to the porn industry, I think it's okay. And people should agree to that, that today we have much bigger problems. Why they are still focusing on small shit like who's who's like to have sex and where and why they accept money for it, like so there are so much worse thing in the world, and if they want to argue, they should grab on those, I think.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you are your own human being, and you can, if you get an idea, then decide that you want to do it and go through with it. And
Mhm.
most likely you'll come out the end, you'll still be alive, and that's all that matters. And you would have learned something. So
Of course.
don't don't let society dictate whether you want to do something or not, really. As
Exactly.
long as it's known to not bring harm at the end, right?
Yeah.
Like
No, every
certain
time when I'm
things like
saying like, oh, just follow your heart, do whatever, and I always think like, oh shit, some people have really negative thoughts, like, like I don't know why, but yeah,
that's
doing
right,
harm.
without the harm. That's the
Yeah,
key, without intentionally doing harm. So,
yeah.
but yeah,
Tony
that was
Fontana.
awesome.
Thank you so much.
So good to
And
see
I
you.
hope you won't
Yes,
disappear for another 3 years. So maybe I'm coming there next or you visit again, but see you soon.
definitely. All
Take
right, I'll
care.
talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.